Hello, I am the Irish guy, and right. Predictions. Game week 14 of the Premier League. Lads, I know you're all hating this, but every single week I get at least one prediction 100% correct. Lads, if I do not get one prediction 100% correct, then this week I will do an entire video sitting in a rubbish bin that is filled to the brim with milk. Ain't gonna happen. Right, let's go. Arsenal 3, Wolves 0. Arsenal fans, when they see their e-ticket for Wolves at home on their phone, some of them will probably just fully explode with embarrassment, because do you remember a year ago when Arsenal fans were so sure they'd win the league, and so we're paying £15,000 to secure a ticket for the final home game of the season against Wolves because they thought they were going to see their club lift their first Premier League title since 2004? Honestly, it was such a rare, significant occasion, as if they just bought tickets to see Elvis Presley climbing out of the grave. I mean, yeah, Arsenal won the match 5-0, so at least they saw some goals for those stupidly expensive tickets, but you cannot tell me that some Gunners fans, having robbed from their mother's piggy bank and plunged themselves into 9 months debt for that, you can't tell me some of them are still crying under their sock. But lads, people are loving Gary O'Neill right now, but I'm sure he's a little bit scared of this trip. I mean, imagine sitting at home this week watching Arsenal cruise into a 5-0 lead at half-time in the Champions League. Make no mistake about it, this is a little raw coaching newbie. He has gotta be terrified. I refuse to believe he's not. He'll be at home right now, and there'll be a puddle of his own sweat on the kitchen floor. I'll go for a 3-0 comfy Gunners win, with Gabriel Jesus, Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli all on the score sheet. Very easy. Honestly, if this is anything other than an Arsenal win, I will shove a bowl full of mud in my mouth. Brentford 2, Luton Town 1. Lads, 4 years ago, when Luton Town travelled to Brentford and lost 7-0, who on earth thought that this would be a Premier League fixture? No chance. It was what was likely to happen as Jack Nicholson announcing to the world that he's got his cat pregnant. Yeah, I'm pretty sure even if that was true, he'd keep it to himself. But listen, Luton have been brilliant this season for their feeble little finances. The fact they play in a football ground no bigger than Shrek Swamp to now be 4 whole points above the drop zone. And it doesn't matter what happens this weekend. Their goalkeeper could go out there and score 9 own goals. Carlton Morris could whip out a penknife and chop off his own thumb and chew it in a sandwich on the penalty spot. Rob Edwards could literally chuck a bunch of 13-year-olds out there in that second half. It does not matter. Luton cannot end this weekend in the relegation zone, which is beyond nutty. Lads, I need Luton to start losing games if I want to stop having milky Mondays. Honestly, today is Friday and sniff me. Go on, have a sniff. Go on, smell my face. See, it's like you're kissing a cow. I do think the Bees will win. Brian and Bemba will score twice. Luton will lose 2-1 in a pretty close match. Please, no more milk. Burnley 1, Sheffield United 1. Lads, this might come under the banner of being a Premier League fixture, but there is nothing Premier League about either one of these clubs. Burnley and Sheffield United being afforded the honour of duking this one out a match of the day. It feels a little bit like if Tyson Fury were to allow me to box a squirrel on his undercard. Neither one of us deserves a pay-per-view. Both the Clarets and the Blades are in such a desperate need of a win. This is going to look a little bit tragic. A bit like watching two nerds in their 50s who've yet to kiss a girl. It's a bit like watching them competing against each other on a speed date night down the local bingo hall. They're going to have such horrible armpit sweat patches. They look a bit like they've just spent an hour spooning a turkey in the oven. Lads, whatever team does not win this match, it's going to be such a rock bottom low moment, and I think it's both. I don't think either team is good enough to win here, which is shocking, absolutely shocking to say about a Burnley team at Turf Moor. This ground used to be a fortress. Now it's about as threatening as a flower shop. I think Burnley will take the lead through Lucas Kolyosho, but Ollie McBurney will tower in a late soul-destroying header. 1-1. A result that nobody wants. Nottingham Forest 0, Everton 1. Forget about the league table. Everton are a better team than Nottingham Forest. Lads, what are you looking at? Sean Dyche is the guy who lives in Nottingham. He was constantly linked with Steve Cooper's job a year ago. He is leaving the stadium with a win. I know I can't get out of having a milk shower on Monday, but if the Toffees keep up their good run of form, then lads, it could legitimately be the last Milky Monday of the season for me and for everyone who's sniggering at me for that points deduction. Oh, this could be my escape. Forest have been quietly dreadful. 1 win in 9 games. 1 win since the 2nd of September. It is horrible. Cooper must surely be running out of time to save his job. Surely. I'll go 1-0 Everton win. Dominic Calvert-Lewin bullet header. Just you wait and see. Newcastle 2, Man United 0. There is absolutely no chance Manchester United win this match. None. Absolutely not. Eric Ten Hag might have beaten Eddie Howe in the League Cup final earlier this year, but I don't care. Newcastle United absolutely have Manchester United's number. But it's mental. When Sir Alex Ferguson was in charge, the Magpies never stood a chance. They'd get absolutely battered up and down the street. I remember that one season in 2008 when Newcastle across 2 Premier League games lost 11-1 aggregate. That was an absolute disgrace. It was Cristiano Ronaldo's first and only hat-trick for Man United before quitting for Real Madrid. How bizarre is that? His only hat-trick in his first spell at Man United was against a team coached by Nigel Pearson. Yeah, Bet you didn't know that one either. You want to know what's even more embarrassing? That wasn't even the first time that decade that Man United took 11 Premier League goals against Newcastle in the same season. They'd done it just 4 seasons earlier when beating them 5-3 and 6-2. But now, Man United beaten Newcastle once in the last 5 meetings. When Man United travel to St James's Park now, they get bullied. They lost 2-0 last season, and the year before, they were lucky to escape with a 1-1 draw in a game where Joe Linton announced himself to the world as an absolute midfield monster bully. Newcastle were robbed of a magic win at PSG this weekend. Man United, by contrast, chucked away a 2-goal lead in Turkey twice. The height of sloppiness. I am sorry, but without a doubt, 2-0 Newcastle win. Alexander Isak with both. If I'm wrong, okay, if Man United somehow managed to win this match, I'm gonna pay a stranger to pelt me with snowballs until I cry. It's weird, isn't it? Bournemouth 3, Aston Villa 2. This is going to be the best game of the weekend, lads. And Donny Ariola ball has finally arrived. It just got a little bit lost in the post. I know we've had to wait longer than we thought, but Bournemouth are finally cooking. And the fact they're still languishing in the bottom 5 of the Premier League is one of the fakest positions I've ever seen. They will wind up nowhere near the bottom. Oh, trust me. I mean, don't forget, the great Eddie Howe needed time to settle the Cherries into the Premier League at first. Just 2 wins in his first 14 matches. He was lucky not to get sacked after 2 5-1 defeats in a row. A lesser chairman would have panicked. They're kind of lucky that Sunderland had removed Sam Allardyce from their thinking by appointing him a week before that fortnight of conceding 10 goals, because you never know. That greasy survivalist blob was always that tempting panic button to press for a terrified chairman down the bottom. But yeah, I think this is going to be a wonderfully free-flowing, beautiful match where both teams are absolutely excellent. But I'm going to go with it being 2-2 going into the final 5 minutes of the match. Justin Cliver, Dominic Solanke, Ollie Watkins, and John McGinn with the goals. Both teams will be going for the win before Luis Sinisterra pops up with an absolute wonder goal, spanking it in off the post in the final minute. Cue absolute scenes. It's gonna be special. Chelsea 1, Brighton 2. Are Chelsea in crisis again? They're the most wild team in the Premier League. You don't know what they're gonna do. And lads, I know they squeaked a win in the League Cup against Brighton 2 months ago, but trust me, Chelsea absolutely hate playing against Brighton in the Joe Weller derby. They failed to beat them in the last 5 Premier League games. The last time they actually beat Brighton in front of actual fans in the ground in a Premier League match was over 4 years ago. It was Frank Lampard's first ever Premier League win as a boss. It's that long ago. It's really weird. So much has changed. That Chelsea starting lineup from that match. They now all play for Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, AC Milan, Barcelona again, Arsenal, Manchester United, Lazio, Roma, and Fulham and Luton Town. Oh, poor old Willian and Ross Barkley drawing the short straws. A bit like those promising uni students who just grew up to clean toasters at Starbucks. I will go with another Brighton win. They'll control the game, pick Chelsea off, dominate possession, and yeah, they'll have about 4 times as many chances. Honestly, this is a game which could be 5-1. But yeah, 2-1, Nicholas Jackson, João Pedro, and Evan Ferguson with the goals. The end. Liverpool 3, Fulham 0. Look, weirdly Liverpool, who before this horrid run did beat Fulham 6 times on the bounce, they have struggled against the Cottagers a little bit. They grounded a 1-0 win at Anfield in May, but before that was a 2-2 draw in August. Before that, Fulham left Anfield with a win, and before that was a 1-1 draw at Craven Cottage during lockdown. For some reason, Jurgen Klopp is finding it tricky against Fulham, but no, this weekend it'll be a routine easy win. 3-0, Mo Salah with 2, and Darwin Núñez with 1. Incredibly easy win. West Ham 2, Crystal Palace 1. Lads, West Ham versus Crystal Palace was once a championship playoff final. There was probably absolute spice between these clubs for a while, but over the last 8 years, there has been loads of goals. West Ham versus Crystal Palace is an underrated fixture. Over the last 18 meetings, there's been 63 goals scored, including quite possibly the greatest bicycle kick in Premier League history. Sorry, Garnacho, but Andy Carroll, someone who looks like he should have the acrobatic technique of a headless garden gnome. But yeah, I'll go with the 2-1 West Ham win. Danny Ings off the bench with the winner. Yeah. Ings. Once an absolute must-have fantasy football pick, but now, I bet most of you have even forgotten what the poor bloke looks like. Man City 4, Tottenham 0. I'm sorry, Ange Postecoglou, but without James Maddison, they are so hideously average. He is arguably more important to your team than Harry Kane was. Just look at the start of the season. Look, me suggesting that you ship 4 at the Etihad isn't that insane. You already did that earlier this year when you had an Italian defensive master like Antonio Conte at the wheel. Mauricio Pochettino conceded 4 goals at this ground in the Champions League. He also left the Etihad with 4 defeats in 2017, 2014, and oh yeah, Spurs lost 6-0 here in November 2030. This is a scary ground for Tottenham. I mean, lads, if Man City were able to beat Chelsea 6-0 at this stadium less than 2 years before they became European champions, then nobody is safe from a pasting off Pep. I'm sorry, but yeah, 4-0. A perfectionist in Guardiola is going to demand an improvement on their squeaky Champions League win over RB Leipzig, where Phil Foden said it was the worst ever performance. Guardiola would have been fuming with that leggy, uncoordinated first half, and so yeah, they are going to be worked like dogs on the training ground, and will take out their anger with a 4-0 win. Erling Haaland, Phil Foden, Jeremy Doku, and Nathan Ake. Ouch! Anyway, that's the video. Let me go. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below what do you think is going to happen. Let me know your predictions. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give a like. As always, I'll talk to you in a while.